I've been investing for 24 years through market booms, crashes, recessions, and everything in between. I've seen people build wealth slow and steady, and I've seen people lose everything, chasing the next get-rich-quick scheme. Now, what if I told you there's a simple rule that could turn a 10,000 investment into over 44,000 in just a few years? It might sound too good to be true, but I'm here to tell you it's not magic. It's maths, patience, and consistency. So grab a pen, take some notes, because this information is important. Section 1, the 843 rule. So what exactly is the 843 rule? Think of it as a roadmap for your financial journey, broken down into 3 distinct phases. The first 8 years are your foundation years. Your investments grow, but the growth feels slow. You might be tempted to give up. Then come the next 4 years, your momentum years. This is where your growth starts to accelerate, and you finally see the results of those early disciplined years. And finally, the last 3 years. These are your explosive growth years. This is when your investments start making serious money on top of the money they already made. Because compound interest is basically interest on top of interest. Section 2, relatable example. Let's break down the numbers behind the 843 rule so you can see exactly how it works. Imagine you invested 10,000 today and you achieved 10% average annual return, which is roughly what the global stock market has historically returned over the last 100 plus years. Here's what happens. In the first 8 years, your 10,000 grows to around 22,000. It feels slow. You more than doubled it, yes, but it took 8 years. In the next 4 years, it jumps to 33,000. Now you're seeing momentum build. But in the final 3 years, it explodes to over 44,500. So your 10,000 is going to 44,500 in just 15 years. Imagine you added money to this each month, like 200 or even 500. You'd be talking hundreds of thousands of pounds. Here's what's really important to understand. The growth in the last 3 years alone is almost as much as the total growth in the first 8 years combined. Nothing in this video should be taken as financial advice. The full disclaimer can be found in the description below. Section 3, why most people don't understand. Now here's where most people go wrong. And this is something I've seen repeatedly over the past 24 years, working with investors, coaching friends, and talking to members of my free school community. People start investing with good intentions, they're excited, but after a few months or years, they check their account and see only 2,000 or 5,000 in gains, and they feel disappointed. They think this is taking too long. It's not worth it. I'll just spend the money now and enjoy life. But what they don't realise is this. The early years of investing aren't about the money you're making, they're about laying the foundations for the exponential growth that comes later. If you give up during the foundation years, you'll never experience the explosive years. And I'll be honest with you, I almost gave up investing in my 20s. I thought I was smart enough to trade stocks and make quick, easy money. But every time I tried, I'd end up losing more than I gained. In fact, I lost our life savings in 2010 and 2011, gambling on individual stocks. It was only when I committed to long-term investing that my wealth started to grow consistently and powerfully, just like this 843 rule shows. Section 4, real-life applications. So how can you apply the 843 rule to your life? 1, retirement planning. If you're in your 20s or 30s, you're in the perfect position to make this rule work for you. Even if you only invest £200 a month into an index fund, by the time you're in your 50s or 60s, you could have hundreds of thousands of pounds, even millions, depending on how much you invest and your returns. 2, saving for a home. Let's say you're planning to buy a home in 7 to 10 years. Instead of saving in a low-interest savings account, you invest wisely in diversified ETFs or index funds. Your deposit could grow far larger than expected, putting you in a stronger position to actually buy your first home. 3, funding education. Whether it's your children's future or your own further education, starting a dedicated investment account now and letting it grow using the 843 rule could pay off massively when those education bills arrive. Here's what you should do with investing in my opinion. Start early, stay consistent, and let time do the heavy lifting. And look, if you want more info, I've condensed all of my 24 years investing experience into one 10-minute video. See below for the link. Section 5, how to build wealth. Before we finish, let me leave you with this. Building wealth isn't about being the smartest person in the room. It's about having the discipline to stick with simple principles like the 8-4-3 rule when everyone else is chasing shortcuts. So I want you to ask yourself, where will you be in 8 years if you start today? How different could your life look if you let compounding work its magic for you instead of against you? Before we finish, I want to finish with a personal story close to my heart that demonstrates the importance of investing ASAP. Going back 17 years, I was struggling to earn a living as a contractor and was working most weekends just to bump my wages up to pay the bills. The man I was working with at the time was a lovely bloke called Frank, who was excellent at his job and had been a contractor all his life. He was my mate. He was 64 and was only 12 months from retirement. On a particularly cold Sunday morning, we were working outside. As it was a Sunday, it was the last place I wanted to be. We were both working all hours and were trying our best to keep our spirits up. I really hated seeing old Frank struggling away at his age. It would be worth it though for Frank, as his big plan was to take his wife of 45 years to their villa in Spain. A villa he had proudly told me was just about paid off. I decided on that cold Sunday morning that I had to do something different. I refused to be working on the weekend in my 50s and 60s. To make matters worse for Frank, things didn't pan out as he was hoping. He did get to retire at 65, but he didn't get to retire in the sunset with his wife. Sadly, his wife had a massive stroke and he became her full-time carer in England. His dreams were shattered. Thinking of him happily practicing his Spanish on me at work is brutal, to be honest. Invest as early as possible and try and retire as soon as possible. That's all I'm trying to say. Now, if you found this video valuable, write investing in the comments so I know you're serious about building real wealth long term. And if you're not sure how to invest, I can help you start with index investing. Type yes below and I'll send you my index investing cheat sheet. Or you can join my free investing community on School. The link again can be found in the description.